Portions of the day's programming are reproduced by means of electrical transcriptions or tape recordings.
Hello, everybody, wherever you may be, from coast to coast and sea to shining sea. Welcome back to Ham Radio Live, where the world comes to talk radio. What should we do with DQRM'ers caught in the act? We'll talk about that today. Plus, geographical fun. Monday, 27th day of July, live from Central Florida. It's Ham Radio Live. Closet of dust to find this one. It's 1978. It was done by the group April Wine. It reached number 25 in the RPM charts up in Canada, 34 here in the States on the Billboard Hot 100, and it was on their album First Glance, and it was the only glance anyone got. It's a one-hit wonder, so it was their first big hit since 1972. Roller by the group April Wine. We got a great show today. You're going to learn about some geographical history that's kind of neato, and we'll also talk about what we should do with DQRM'ers. I mean, in good terms, we're not going to make it a bad thing. Remember, this is a PG program here, so let's be nice to them, all right? Wherever you may be around the world, scoop you up, get you in the checkout line, and say, away we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Happy Monday. Wow. It's great to see you guys. Happy Monday to you worldwide. My name's Larry Dio. My call sign in amateur radio is Kilo 7 Hotel November. Welcome to Ham Radio Live. If you'd like to get your amateur radio license, the American Radio Relay League would love to hear from you. Reach out to them at www.arrl.org. Just click on the contact part of their page and let them know you want your ham radio license and where you live in the world. Very important to tell them that because, like here in the States, the ham clubs give you the license exam, so you want one close by. www.arrl.org to the American Radio Relay League. Also, a wonderful Discord channel that our dear friend Rodney the Great put together here from the Netherlands. Rodney, we owe you an awful lot. Papa Alpha 9 Romeo Whiskey, thank you for doing such a great job on Discord for us. You'll find it at ham-radio-live. Now, what I like about it is it's a really safe place for you to go if you're new to amateur radio or thinking about getting your license. You're not going to have somebody put you down or make you feel bad if you don't know the answer to something. They'll help you with it. That's the whole purpose of the Discord channel. You'll find it at ham-radio-live. Once you sign in, just accept the terms and conditions. We don't follow that stuff anyway. We just want to make sure you know the rules to be kind to others and, treat people the way you want to be treated. And then make sure also you don't worry about posting on the Ham Radio Live info channel. That's a channel for us to be able to share important information about the YouTube program with you worldwide, all right? Also, a great website. It's at www.hamradiolive.org. Again, our dear friend Rodney the Great in the Netherlands put that together, Pop Alpha 9 Romeo Whiskey. We thank him for his expertise. He is a brilliant, brilliant guy. You'll find all kinds of stuff that's very helpful to you in radio, shortwave, ham radio, DXing, even VHF, tropospheric ducting. It's all right there, and it can help you anytime, day or night, at www.hamradiolive.org. I like to play with the weather maps. That's my favorite thing on the website. It's pretty cool. Today's topic question: what should be done to people who are caught DQRMing on the bands? Now, I know I've asked this before, but this is one of the hot button topics that gets an awful lot of comments out. And it's a comment stream that I enjoy reading every time we do this, because some of you guys get new ideas, and that's always cool. But what should we really do? Because, I mean, there's a joke, obviously, about the 7-point Zoom net on the 40-meter band. And, everybody knows about it. If you talk to someone here in the States who's active whatsoever on HF bands, they know about 7.2, right? And it's not very flattering. So there has been someone who was caught from that group, but there's still more stuff going on. So let's put ourselves maybe in the FCC's place. They've triangulated the signal. They find out where it's coming from. And then unfortunately there's another one. And so they go to the next place, they do the same thing, and they repeat until finally the net is restored to what should be normal operations. What should we do when we catch these people doing the wrong things in amateur radio? Love to hear your comments on that worldwide. Let's pick you up. We'll go and find out who's first, second, and third today on a Monday show. We're going to do this, hopefully, as few sound effects as possible. I'm going to try something different. And let me know your thoughts. If you like it better that way, cool. Not going to break my heart. Just let me know what you think. Trying to make it more like a mainstream talk show if we can. First up today, and this is the only place I'll put the sound effect in because it's kind of a tradition of this channel. Yeah, we don't want to get rid of everything because some things are pretty good. The first guy that came in would be all the way from Bulgaria, but nope, he's actually in Turkey right now. No kidding. Tom, he's got 2 call signs, Alpha Echo 1 Tango Papa here in the States, Alpha 92 Golf Whiskey in the country of Bahrain. Give him a big meep, please. Meep, meep. Nice work, Tom. You've done that twice now in, I think, a week, because you came in first on the Friday cavalcade of shows. Gosh, I had, what a rough day. I mean, the computer was giving me trouble. I couldn't speak. I listened to the replay of it and I'm going, oh gosh, people are going to think I had a stroke. I'm serious. It was so concerning to me to stutter as many times as I did in that show, and I never do that. So anyway, we'll see how we do today. Tom, welcome. First up, good to see you and congratulations to you. Continent number 2 is in the house. That would be Bill Myers. Kilo Alpha 8 Golf India Mike, a happy Monday to you too, my friend. Thank you for coming today. Good to see you. We'll give the first 3. Rodney from the Netherlands, that's another one. Now, Tom, we have to ask, are you technically in the Asiatic side of Istanbul, or are you in the European side of Istanbul? We're going to talk about that today. We really are. You're going to love the segment. So I have to ask if that's true, because if you're in the Asiatic side, then that would be continent number 1 then. And then Rodney would be continent number 3. So that's what we need to know. Rodney, welcome. That's our Rodney the Great, our wonderful Discord guy, and also our wonderfully kind author of our webpage at www.hamradiolive.org. Rodney's call sign Pop Alpha 9 Romeo Whiskey. Welcome, buddy. Good to see you, Rodney, as always. Thanks for coming. Barry Wendon joins us from the United Kingdom. Golf 6, Juliet Mike X-Ray. Jeff piles in from Canada. Victor Echo 3, Whiskey Juliet. Thank you for posting your call sign. I appreciate that. You have no idea, because my mind goes fast. And that was a problem, I think, Friday. I was trying to go so fast, but I can't remember everybody's call sign. And then I get to kind of like back up in the brain, and it doesn't go in reverse very well. It's just one of those things. Joshua, welcome. It's good to see you. You know what? I had Man, there's so much in the show, but you had mentioned an island for a DXpedition last show, and I didn't show it. And I felt really bad about that. Like I say, I do listen to these programs back, and I kick myself repeatedly for the mistakes that yours truly makes. But he had mentioned North Sentinel Island, and if I can do it in this show, I'll put it in. If I can't, it'll be on the next program. It's nice to see you, Joshua. Thank you for coming. A very happy Monday to you, my friend. Tom says, High Roller, Canadian singing. It's true, actually. They did quite well. And, they had a good song. They had one good song out there. Mike, welcome. Jacksonville is here. Wow. Mike is a very dear friend and a great DXer as well. Solid guy. I mean, he's got amazing accomplishments in amateur radio, but he'll never act like he has. And I keep on trying to put that segment that I have of him, just a short little QSO, but it's really a cool one. And Mike, I'll do my best to put on today's show. His call sign, Kilo Golf 2. Mike, welcome. It's nice to have you. Brad Meyer joins us from Florida as well. He says 152 hours. It'll be Monday at 8 Eastern time again. Woohoo! Wow. I don't know what to say about that, but thank you. I appreciate you being here. Joshua says, I listen to these old Canadian radio shows at night when I'm falling asleep. The Vanishing Point and Nightfall is the best. Very cool. That's really cool. Thanks for sharing. Bill Myers, thank you so much for dropping the link. I did get your email. It was just a little late to get in the show, but I'll get it tomorrow in our email segment. Our topic question today for you to consider, mull over, and think about is what should be done to people caught DQRMing the bands. We're talking about people who play music, for example, who play different sound effects, who speak over people, who make it impossible or nearly impossible to be able to make a QSO. Rodney's first in. I thought maybe this would be a hot button for Rodney. Rodney worked so hard when the 3Y0 Juliet, the expedition through Bouvet Island was on. That was a couple of years ago. And he kept trying and trying. He went on digital, went to FT8. And you know how FT8 works, right? They send the CQ, you call that you've received them. They pick your stall, you pick your station, right? And then, so that's the first part of the QSO. They accept it. You then send them signal report and, your call sign. Then they send you the same. And there's like 2 exchanges. There's 4 in total. Rodney got 3 of the 4. And then he didn't get anything more. They didn't get it finished. So he didn't get that QSO. He was that close. And DQRM was hard on him to making that call to Bouvet. He kept trying. But he says, DQRM, is waterboarding nice enough or can I go a bit more? Oh, Rodney. Like I say, he has zero hard feelings about this. Chris in New York City joins the show. Good to see you, Chris. His call sign is Kilo Echo 2 Hotel Romeo Juliet. He says, cheers from Gotham City. Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate that. You guys are solid on all of these links. Thank you very, very much. Rodney, thanks for dropping everything. Bill says, Nimrod, Bill, and Rodney the Great are in the house. And I like that because the house is always happier when y'all are here for sure. Tom sending Joshua some love. Cheers. Canada had some great bands. Bachman Turner Overdrive, Loverboy, Young, and others. Yeah, Neil Young too. One of the groups I really liked that they had too was the Guess Who. I thought the Guess Who was so good, and they weren't afraid to say what was on their mind. Plus Gordon Lightfoot and Anne Murray. Brad says about today's topic question, what should be done with people DQRMing? Interfere with emergency comms, drop the hammer. Wow. Okay. Intentionally interfere. Yep. They're doing it on purpose. And if they're doing it with MCOMs, drop the hammer. So what does drop the hammer mean in your idea? Bill Myers, he says, just like any other violations on the amateur radio bans, fines, license revocation, and equipment confiscation. So the trifecta for you. All right. So let me ask you this, because there's one thing that's not really clear. What would the fine be? This light's driving me berserk. I look like I've got white makeup on my face. Sorry about that. Let me try and see if I make it better. Sorry, hold on. Okay. That's a bit better. All right. So what would the fine look like for you, Bill? What would you think that would be a reasonable fine for somebody who got caught? You know, the FCC's gotten into all the trouble, right? They go out to their house. They've clearly triangulated. That's the signal, right? And so what would your fine be? What would you say? Okay, this is what you owe. You knew the rules. You did this on purpose. Now how much you're going to pay? That's interesting. Love to know that. That'd be great. Tom, yeah, cheers from Istanbul. I got to know which side, though, man. We're trying to figure out our continents today. Harold, welcome back. He says, howdy. Today's topic question: chronic offenders should be fined, then steeply fined, then delicensed. Wow. Okay, so let's go back to fining. How much would the first fine be? And so this would probably be like a what would it be? Increasing scale, right? So the second fine be even more. What would that look like? I'd be interested in hearing your comment on that. Thank you. Chris, New York City, DQRMing should be heavy fines, permanent revocation of license, jail 1+ year, and radio confiscation. Catching them is the hard part if they transmit intermittently or over many frequencies. Interesting. There you go. So Chris is really like, he's going to throw the whole book at him. He's like, okay, seriously, we're not playing this game here. These bands are important. They carry emergency traffic. They also are important for communications between countries. This makes us all look bad. We're going to throw the book at you. So what would it look like, the heavy fine? Now, I've seen fines for people who are DQRMing, and I mean fines as high as like $19,000. First offense I know of, 19 grand. So what would it look like in your mind? Because you know what they're going to do, right? When you find somebody, and it always happens with these guys that are DQRMing, it'll be like a 19 or a 15,000 or a $12,000 fine. Because they'll like catch them on a few things, right? They'll catch them on like, one of the things they'll catch them on would be like they didn't ID, they were playing music, they were playing sound effects, right? So all these things, right? And then they get them for each thing. So it's like, let's say $2,000 for the sound effects, excuse me, $3,000 for music, and $5,000 or $10,000, whatever, for no ID. Because none of them ID, obviously, right? They're not going to sit there and do all this stuff in the middle of it and go, Kilo Alpha 8, ABC, and then go back and do more. They're not going to ID, even though they legally are supposed to, but they're not going to give themselves away. Man, amazing. Yeah, I like what you're saying. It's pretty heavy, but I'd like to know more about the fines from all these things. Tom says, been in both today, right now on European side. Okay, so we're continent 2. Okay, good. Good to know. Fair enough. Thank you, Tom. Rodney says, I knew Rodney'd have more than one. Send them to North Sentinel Island. On the real, though, I would give them as hard a punishment as legally possible. Okay, very good. Very good. Jeff in Canada, the last one we'll read. We'll get to more here in just a second, Rodney. I'll get your next one. In fact, I'll follow up with Rodney's, then we got to get to the weather. Jeff says to have the FCC follow, and this isn't just FCC. No. This could be anybody, right? If they're doing it in Europe, right? Whatever the overriding authority is in that country, them catching too, okay? So, for example, United Kingdom, Ofcom goes out, they triangulate, they find the source, they knock on the door, okay? What happens, okay? So with you guys, okay, what would happen if your authority came up and said, knocking on the door there in Canada at somebody that's maybe DQRMing 7.2, right? Jeff says, to have the FCC follow through prosecution in Canada, our FCC has informed me they don't have the staff or money to enforce laws. Now that's awful. That's really sad. Because they took down like the emergency weather radio. You can't pick up like weather radio in Canada anymore because they discontinued it. They also stopped CHU. By the way, I have something cool about CHU, and I should play it for you. I might be able to put it in towards the end of the show. Remember when I played the last seconds of CHU and I said, unfortunately, somebody DQRM'd this thing. I had no idea the level that somebody DQRM'd the end of CHU was. I had no clue. It was over 9.5 minutes long. No kid. I could only hear what I heard here in in Central Florida. But it was a lot longer than that. If you want to hear it, put in the comments that you'd like me to play it. I will. I've got the video. I won't play all 9.5 minutes or so. But you'll get an idea of just how awful it was right at the end of CHU's transmission. It was just stupid. Rodney, part 2. Actually, I think this is kind of part 3, but it's okay. I will not answer this question anymore. My dark thoughts are coming through. Sensitive subjects. Okay, well, let's move on to the weather then. Your HF weather is powered by ICOM. ICOM for the love of ham radio. Take a look at some metrics today. They're good. SFI is great, 148. Sunspot numbers only down 1 from Friday. That's at 100. A-index 6, but that K is 1. That's very quiet. That's excellent. BZ latitude positive 4.6. And the solar wind is quiet too. It's only at 368.7 thousand kilometers per second. That's wonderful. So we have reasonably great conditions right now in the HF bands. All right, HF band condition you can see there, for the most part, fair, good. And then you've got 12 and 10, fair and poor. It really depends on where you're at in the world for 12 and 10. We've talked about that before. If you're in the tropics, 12 and 10 are a playground. But if you're up north, you're not going to get it in the summer. In the winter, you will get it still. We should have a return of both 10 and 12 meters this fall and winter. There is no MUF US boulder report yet. We're still waiting, but I'm sure it'll come. Geomagnetic field is very quiet, means nice, quiet noise floors. Magnetosphere view, here's that sunspot region that they had circled on Friday. The number is 4496. It's right there on the left side of the sun, coming in off the the western limb. And then you see 4492 up in the northern part of the sun's hemisphere. And then 4498, 4495, 4497, and 4493 is just about to pop off that eastern limb there. So might get a little drop in SFI. It really depends on how 4492 and 4494 and 95 behave these next couple of days. If you start to see them grow, we should have higher SFIs and maybe get over 150. Maximum usable frequencies, here's a general look at everything. But with the higher SFI, you're going to start seeing 10 and 12 meters start to expand, and we're starting to see that now. Take a look here in the northern hemisphere. Pretty much linear, right? It's still about the same. 20, 17, and 15 meters going well east to west. Right about 11:30, 12 noon, you get that real steep steep drop to the south. So local time, right about 12:30, all of a sudden, the band you're on will drift south at the very western edge. So keep that in mind. Might get you some DX into South America or Central America. If you're in Europe, here in the States, might work you into Hawaii. You never know. Southern Hemisphere, here's where 10 and 12 really start to show they've come back. Last week, 10 and 12 were just locked in the tropics, but now 12 and 10 both have dipped all the way south. They're nearly to 60 degrees south, so good conditions to work ham radio if you're in the southern hemisphere. Your HF forecast powered by ICOM. ICOM for the love of ham radio. Stable SFIs, S0 to S2 noise floors at times. Best DX in the north, 20, 17, 15, and 12. Now, we've added 12 meters, and the reason we've added 12, take a look at this. On the maximum usable frequency, right there, right at sunset, they kick north. You see that? There are places in the Northern Hemisphere where that little bump before sunset will get you 12 meters. That's why it's there. So, Southern Hemisphere, you got everything, 20 to 10 meters. If you're on the nighttime ham bands, stable SFIs, noise floor is fairly quiet through midweek. Nighttime amateur bands of 160, 80, 60, 40 in the 20 meter band. 20 will work you great after sunset. Make sure and try and work it. If you're a shortwave DXer, daytime shortwave, quiet noise floors through midweek. Solar flux index numbers stable through Wednesday. There's going to be some occasional fading on the signals. Shortwave daytime bands 31, 25, 22, 19, 15, and 13 meter band. Nighttime shortwave SFIs are stable, quiet noise floors through midweek, fading signals at times. Shortwave nighttime bands from 120 meters all the way down to the 19 meter band. And remember, 19 should be golden for you after dark. Here in the Northern Hemisphere, about 3 hours or so after sunset. If you're in the south, you're starting to build up some daylight, so you'll probably get 2 hours of 19 after dark. There's your HF forecast, my friends. Thanks for joining the program today. Today is Monday, the 27th day of July, 2026 on Ham Radio Live. If you'd like to email me stuff, and boy, it's getting real dark out here, so we're going to get a thunderstorm coming any second here. I love to get your emails at info@hamradiolive.org. And what I love about them are the things you share with me, right? Because the things you share are pretty cool. I'm going to try and see if I can recenter me a little bit better. Going the wrong way. There we go. All right. Sorry about that. But I love getting your emails and getting to see what's going on in your world. Bill is sending me a little bit of his shack, the changes he's made there since he got the 7610. We'll show that tomorrow, but also share a little bit of our world here in Central Florida. First, I'll share a little bit from me. This is where we live in the villages. There are all kinds of little subdivisions that are scattered throughout this area called the villages. For most people who don't know, the villages is the world's largest, they call it 55 and up community in the world. And it's really neat. I mean, every one of the villages has their own postal center where you pick up your mail, right? And their own swimming pool. Okay, they have a little grassy area with paths. You can walk your dogs and stuff. Anyway, ours is called Monarch Grove, the village of Monarch Grove, like monarch butterflies, right? So in it's probably around April or maybe late March, there were some ladies that came out to this area of our little park that we walk our dogs in, right? And they were planting these little flowers. And I asked one of the ladies, "What are you planting?" She goes, "Oh, we're planting some plants that are really good that lure in monarch butterflies. We thought since we're the village of Monarch Grove, it'd be neat to have some around during the summer." I thought, what a neat idea. It worked. Let me show you the video. It's kind of cool. It's a little short, but this is from our walk this morning, actually. I think I was walking Jill at this time. And this is what those ladies that planted those seeds in. No, they weren't seeds. They were actually like little small flowers. But what it produced. It's pretty neat.
Okay, so every village here, has their own name, right? And the one we live in is called Monarch Grove. And there were some ladies that came here in the spring and they planted all these plants. And I asked the lady what she was doing. She said, we thought we'd add some color to our park area here so the monarch butterflies would come because we're the village of Monarch Grove. And look, take a look out there. Those are monarch butterflies that are here because the ladies planted these wonderful flowering plants, and they swarm here in this area. It's really pretty. So there you go. They did a good job. Thought I'd share a little bit about our village with you here in the villages.
There you go. Yeah, just a little bit of monarch butterflies floating around, half a dozen or so. But they're neat to see for sure. Also, received something from Spike at info@hamradiolive.org over the weekend. If you remember the Friday show, Spike talked about going out and making calls on Saturday. In the United States, we have in our national parks and in our state parks a lot of these towers that are mostly made of wood, right? they're fire towers. So you go up there, you go up some stairs, and there's an area post. It's all covered up and stuff, and they've got walls and windows. It's an area where rangers or people that work for the Forest Service can see wildfires and watch what's going on. Make sure the forests are safe. Spike went to take his radio up there to work the 20-meter band. He said he only made a handful of calls, but man, look at these wonderful pictures, he said. Look at this. This is obviously, clearly, Beartooth Pass. Look at the elevation there, 10,947 feet up. And boy, we're getting hammered with rain right now. Oh boy, it's a little bit of hail hitting the studio window here. So anyway, but that is the place where he was at. Isn't it beautiful? Look at the snow up there. Those would be the Rocky Mountains, I believe. I hope I'm right, Spike, but boy, what a beautiful picture. And take a look at this. That's a buffalo out there. And man, I'm going to turn the compression down, the noise gate down. Listen. That's a lot of rain hitting the window here of the shack for sure. But great picture of a buffalo. And even though he didn't make a lot of calls, look at his day. Gosh, it's beautiful. This picture right here, Spike, I think you could honestly print that up and sell to people. It's beautiful. What a gorgeous picture. You've got the wildflowers there and the way the clouds are filtering in the sunlight. That is a gorgeous picture. And this is, I believe, Spike's, it might not be Spike's wolf, but it's a picture of a wolf that he saw. And wonderful. Spike, thank you. What a wonderful thing to share here at the show at info@hamradiolive.org. Sorry you couldn't make a lot of calls, but man, did you get some beautiful views. Also, something else happened this weekend that's kind of interesting. And if I were to ask you this question, you might not know the answer to it, because before I heard it from a friend of the channel, I didn't even know this stuff existed. Do you know, in the world, this is our little geographical corner moment. You'll learn something. I bet you'll like this. Think about the way that our world is, right? Now, imagine being on a road or some kind of a bridge or some kind of a path, whatever, where you could actually cross from one continent to another and know that you've just done that. There's not many places in the world this is even possible in, but there are 3 places worldwide where this happens. Let me show you where they are. First one is in Russia, and that would make sense, right? Because Russia has part of its boundary in Europe and part of it in Asia, right? Well, where it meets is there in the Ural mountain range, and I cannot pronounce these two, so please don't ask me to. Here's what it looks like when you go in that area and you're driving. It's the Russian word for Europe and the Russian word for Asia, okay? And of course, they just red/line out the Asia part, which means now you're leaving Asia, entering Europe. On the other way, here's the way the other direction. You're now leaving Europe and you're going into Asia. Kind of cool, right? So here's what it looks like when you get to the monument there. It's neat. This is really, really cool. It's one of the 3 places on planet Earth where you actually go from one continent to another. Pretty neat. Now, there's another place, and I bet you would never guess in a million years where it is. It's actually in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean on the little island of Iceland. No kidding. In far southwestern Iceland is a little footbridge called the Bridge Between Continents. Here's the story about it. The Bridge Between Continents is a footbridge that spans a shallow rift between the North American and Eurasian tectonic plates, located along the mid-Atlantic ridge. It offers a rare opportunity to stand between 2 continents and observe the effect of tectonic movement up close. Here's some pictures. Look at this. That's what it looks like if you're standing in the plate, right between the 2 plates, the rift valley between them, right? Look at this picture. This is really neat. Lady walking across the bridge. And it's only a footbridge. There's not going to drive across this one. This one with the northern lights is just gorgeous. I mean, that's just a neat picture of this footbridge. And here's one side of it where it shows you're now in North America. You're on the North America side of the plate. And when you get to the middle of the bridge, there's a marker. This is it right here. It shows you the North American plate, and on the other side, the Eurasian plate. And I think this is just really neat. You'd never in a million years convince me that in Iceland, there's a bridge between continents, because Iceland is right in the middle of the ocean. But there you go. Also, I told you one of our friends here from the channel got a chance to go across a continent this week that has signs and tells you where everything is at. And that person is Tom. Tom got to see one of his daughters graduate this weekend. And where she graduated is in Turkey. Now, I didn't even know. This is what made me think about this question about, okay, where are places in the world where you can actually cross between continents, right? Well, Tom said, well, there's a place called the Bosphorus River, and I'm probably destroying the name, the Bosphorus River, that's in Istanbul, Turkey. Let's take a closer look. I put a little arrow there. That's where the river is, right? And those little roads, those roads that go across it, those have little signs to tell you when you're going from Asia into Europe. Take a look. He's right now about to cross over the main bridge. Here he is crossing over. On one side is Asia. On the other is Europe. When you cross over, this is what it says. Welcome to Europe. Come the other way. Welcome to Asia. Right there. That's amazing to me that there's a bridge that says somewhere in the world that you're crossing over from one continent to another. Man, Tom, thank you for sharing that with me. I thought that was really neat this weekend. Karen actually got to look at it. She's like, Larry, this is the greatest thing ever. I didn't know this even existed here in the world. I said, me either. I wonder if there's any others. And then I found out 2 more. So, Tom, thank you for that. If you'd like to send me something to our email, we'd love to share it with everybody else on the channel and with the world as well that want to just check us out on YouTube. You can reach me at our email address here, info@hamradiolive.org. That's info@hamradiolive.org. Topic question today, what should be done to people caught DQRMing the bands? Okay. If you're new to amateur radio and you don't know what DQRM means, there on the ham test, there's a couple of Q codes that are they're cousins, okay? One of them is QRM, the other one is QRN, as in Nancy, okay? QRM is man-made noise. You're doing something with your radio to create interference on a frequency, okay? DQRM means it's deliberate, okay? That's what that means there, the DQRM part, deliberate QRM. You're deliberately causing interference on a frequency, right? So your comments around the world have been kind of interesting to read because some are going from not too bad to, hey, we're just not going to take it anymore. This is enough. Brad said, caught a guy unintentionally cross-banding from VHF to UHF emergency medical channel, slapped him on the wrist, and took his radio since he hadn't read the owner's manual. Oh my gosh. See, that's where things are dangerous, right? Because you have a ham radio, which is actually a powerful piece of equipment. A lot of people don't realize just how important a ham radio is to have. It's like a trust. We're given a trust to take care of while we are licensed, right? But to not understand that what you're doing is actually causing a problem because you didn't read the owner's manual, that's just a self-inflicted wound. Terrible. Terrible. Well, Spike in Montana joins the show. Good to see you, Spike. November 1, Alpha Quebec Hotel. We shared your pictures. Thank you for sharing them with us. I appreciate that. We're going through the show today. We'll see how it goes, see your comments regarding it. No sound effects. Only thing we did was the beep beep or meep meep, I guess, at the beginning. And just welcoming people. We did that. So, but no sound effects today. Sam is out of the booth, so he's getting another day off from the show. Tom in Bulbait. Tom in Turkey. There's so many places, Tom. I'm trying to keep up. He said, if done with intent and consistent, meaning the interference that's being done intentionally, right? If it's done with intent to cause problems with people and it's consistently being done, then remove offending equipment and remove license. If licensed, hefty fine and label a felon. Oh, woo, boy. Noise gate's a little high. If causing interference on non-amateur bands. Wow. So, like whoever was DQRMing the end of CHU on 40 meters when it went down. Oh man, that's, yeah, okay, I can see it. I mean, I'm not trying to say that's too much. That's not, I'm trying to let it sink in a little bit. So if they're licensed and they're doing this and they know they're doing it, then they should be labeled as a felon. Man, sure would stop them from trying, right? If you think about it, right? If you think about it, if you're going to get caught and you're now going to have a felony on your record, you know, how much of a deterrent is that? I would think most people would say, okay, I'm going to be a good boy now. You know, I'm not going to do this because it's not worth that. That's a good one. Tom, that might be comment of the show. That's a really good comment. Love that. And there's Kyle. Gosh, it's great to see you. How are you, my friend? It's been a while. I hope you and your family are well. Anders, forgive me. I'm an old man now. I can't remember your call sign. Feel free and put it down for me. It'd be great to see you and say your call sign again. He said, you look better, Larry. Well, gosh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Wonder what I did. Tom, guess who? I'd Love to Change the World had the album excellent. We won't talk about American Woman. No, because they were serious about that song. They were like, hey, these American groupies, stay away from us. We're not interested. We're going to marry a nice, kind, beautiful Canadian girl. Yeah. It's good to see you. Gosh, Anders is here. What a treat. Man, oh man. Lima Bravo Zero Foxtrot India. That's the gentleman who's overseeing the great expedition this weekend in Black Forest, Germany. Oh my gosh, I'm honored to see you. Thank you for coming. Wow, I am honored. I'm really honorably shocked. I'm like, man, I mean, we got to meet Bob on Friday show. I have to think for a while. Bear with me. Larry's mind's a bit slow sometimes. So I got a chance to meet Bob, and that was really a treat. What a nice guy. I felt bad for him because he was really feeling bad he can't come this year. And, you know, when you only do it once a year, you look forward to it all those months, right? And then for him to not be able to do it, oh, man. But that is Morton. And Morton is the gentleman who has the European ham radio show. It is called the European Ham Radio Show. It's on YouTube. And I invite you to watch it. I had a chance to see a little bit of it over the weekend. I watched, in fact, the video we showed Friday when we talked about the expedition they're doing to that they did last year to Bornholm, Denmark, right? That was all done by Morton. I mean, Morton, you did a great job. You really did. That was such a treat. Excuse me. That was such a treat to watch. Not only your editing and the story you were able to tell through creative editing, but you also get to show like Omar. And I love the story of Omar. Oh my gosh, Morton, that was so well done. Where you had Steve right there with him, Mike 1 Sierra Delta Hotel, helping him as he was starting to pick up the pace, right? Because he was just licensed. I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's first licensed. He's going on this expedition. Oh man, he had to be so nervous. But there was Steve, and I'm sure a lot of the other guys that came on this expedition, just giving him encouragement, just helping him out, and letting him find his own way. That was brilliant. Well done, Morton. Seriously, I'm going to break the rule. I'm going to do one sound effect here and give high five applause there for Morton right here. Well done, man. Seriously, that's when you can put together something like that, right? That invites hams to come together, congregate together, be together, right? From different countries. Wow. And then also new people who are brand new to the hobby and give them the great encouragement and growth. What more do you want? I mean, you might make 1,500 QSOs, which you guys almost did. You're right there. I would say 1,500. But my gosh, man, just the growth and the fun and the camaraderie, I thought it was wonderful. What you did was brilliant. Morton, it is an honor to have you here. I'm going to post on the link of this program right at the very top of the description, a direct link to his show on YouTube, and I ask you, please go watch it. I think you'll be better off for it. Morton, it's very nice to meet you. Thank you for coming today to the show. Thank you. Thank you. I just can't get rid of all of them, guys. Larry's like getting the shakes. Oh, there's no sound effects. We're trying it one time. Okay. Kevin in Ireland, welcome. Good to see you, my friend. It's always good to see you. Kevin O'Doublehan, what a treat. He said, we used to have a guy who called himself the laughing policeman who came on local repeaters causing chaos with expletives and other negativity. They got him eventually. I was living in England back then. Oh my gosh. Oh, can you imagine this guy? He's like, oh boy, they're never going to catch me. They'll never catch me. Ha ha ha. And he's making all these sounds on the bands and everything. And all of a sudden, knock at the door. He's like, uh-oh. Don't go to the door. Don't go to the door. And they're not like, they're peering through the windows, you know. He's like, oh, bloody heck. I might as well just be done.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Wile E. Coyote. Genius.
Guilty as charged. Oh, Kev. That's funny. Oh, man. Jeff, you're back. Continent number 3, Victor Kilo 3, Golf Bravo Echo. Here in the States, Alpha Golf 0 Bravo. It's great to see you. Jeff, thanks for coming back. Are you still over in Australia? Man, it's good to see you. Thank you for coming. Everyone's so happy to see Anders. This is like an old friend coming back, because it is. Oh, he says, miss you all. So much going on here. I try to do a few things here and there, you know. Need more portable soon. Really missing that part, I bet. Well, Anders, we've missed you a great deal too. We really have. You're part of the family here. It's an honor to have you today. Thanks for picking up the YouTube and just saying hi and hanging out with us for a while. You make the show better. Thank you very much for coming. Gosh, what a treat to see Anders today. And Ernie's back too. What a treat. You know, I said on Friday, because I was thinking back to like when Ernie used to come to the channel, his call sign, Whiskey 3 Golf Uniform Yankee. It's easy to remember, Whiskey 3 guy. And I believe it was when I had the Yaesu FDDX 101 MP. I think it was back then. And Ernie was just such a great guy to have around. Neat person. He's in Pennsylvania still. And Ernie, it's a great day. Thanks for coming back. Honestly, I'm very humbled and honored you're here. Thank you for coming. He's a smart dude. This guy, I mean, he's like Tom, whiz kid smart. Well, you guys are all that way, for sure. It's good to see you, Ernie. Thanks for coming back, buddy. And Dale joins us from Arkansas, Whiskey 5 Delta Sierra Lima. I'm grateful to see you too, Dale. Thanks for coming. And please forgive me for something. I feel bad about something. I've always believed when you start talking about people and how much they mean to you, you know, and if you forget one or two people, you feel so stupid because like you don't want to miss anybody because you care about everybody. And on Friday I was saying about all the people here and I didn't say you. Forgive me, please, for that. I'm very sorry. Dale, I am really thankful you come to this channel and with the frequency you come. Thank you. It means a lot. I know you have other things to do, but you include us in your day, and that means a lot to me, so thank you for that. Bill Myers, regarding our very angry topic question today, what should be done to people caught DQRMing the bands? If you're new to ham radio, DQRMing means intentionally interfering with open communications, right? Bill says, Larry, I think that $5,000 fine for first conviction, $25,000 fine for second, $50,000 fine for third, and 6 months in jail. Equipment confiscated each time they're caught. Wow. Oh boy. All right. So the first time, because for us, like, right, 5,000 is not a slap on the wrist. That's not one of these. That's one of these, right? I mean, that's a lot of money. The second time, you quintuple it to 25 grand. And then the next time, you double that to 50. Ooh. Oh, and they go to jail too. Oh, man. But what I like about what you're saying is each time they're caught, they take their stuff. There's a lot there. That's pretty good. Bill, thank you. Nice comment. Spike says, today's topic question, don't know if it was Cheech and Chong, but I remember the quote, bailiff, whack him hard. Thank you, my friend. Oh my gosh. Bill says, my favorite Canadian band is Rush. Gordon Lightfoot was the best Canadian musician, actually the best in the world. I was lucky enough to see Mr. Lightfoot in concert 3 or 4 times. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, you're in Wisconsin. You're not far from Canada there. So there would be a lot of that influence there, which I think is great. Rodney, again, thanks for the link. Gosh, it's great to see those. We'll get moving on in just a second, guys. Barry Wennon says, send them to prison. Take away the equipment for interfering on the bands. That's not so bad, man. That's not so bad. If you think about it, you are given a trust, and if you break that trust, and clearly you know what you're supposed to do and not supposed to do with a ham radio, right? So if you're really messing up, then fine. You know what? Slap them hard. Just throw the book at them. Yep. Anders, does anyone know what happens to radio conditions during a solar eclipse? What happens during then? Better conditions, or what happens? Anyone know? I can tell you when it happened to us. Wow, 2023, 2022, when we lived in Independence, we had a full, it was a totality one. And I remember that, because it happened so quick. I mean, it's light out for most of the eclipse. It's only totality only lasts for a few minutes, and then it starts to get light again. But it's like a normal band night, right? The nighttime bands start to come up, because I happened to have 40 meters up, and all of a sudden it started getting busy because people were out trying to find out what's going to happen. You could hear signals coming up in 40. It's just like regular day and night, man. Good question. Like that. At least that was the experience we had in Oregon when it happened. One more, and then we got to move on. Brad, for someone to get fined, etc., that is usually the last step, as amateur radio policies itself pretty well. The people who get fined are intentional and should get fined. I don't see anything wrong with that. I guess a good comment. Thank you. Chris, I'll get you next. I promise. We're going to talk now about something that we pushed away on Friday. I don't want to lose it. We talked about beverage antennas on the Thursday show. And I'd like to show you a couple more examples on a beverage, but also one on a loop on the ground. Both are good receive antennas for ham radio, right? If you've got a loop on the ground, you're going to have less noise on the band than you will a beverage, but a beverage is going to work well directionally. So you're going to have essentially the same kind, actually better receive than you would on like a 2-element directional, okay? Let's take a quick look at a beverage versus a vertical and give you an idea again what the difference is.
Do you have a QFN traffic reference?
This is the vertical.
You're booming in here tonight.
Remember, 80 meters is the loudest HF band that there is. It's just a lot of normal noise there on 80. We call it QRN, QR natural noise.
Do we have any formal or informal traffic? Whiskey 9.
Vertical.
Foxtrot 1 out. Okay.
Beverage.
Ben, do you hear? OFF. Okay, W9OFF, are you copying KZAQ?
Yeah, I copy Ben. I'll try a 5 if we come back here.
Vertical.
That's a big difference, guys.
W9OFF, US Wi-Fi.
In that example, it's about 7 to 9 S units. That's more extreme for a beverage, and most of the time you're going to find a lot less noise, but still 80 is a loud band. How do you build one? And I wanted to try and find a way that you could build one of these without having acreage, right? Because acreage isn't easy for people to have. I mean, if you've got acreage, you should build a beverage. Oh my gosh, absolutely you should, because it's more important than your transmitting antenna. Think about this. You're focused on making calls, right? But you can't make calls you can't hear. And even with a 2-element directional, like a hex beam, right? You're going to hear so much better if you build a proper beverage antenna, if you have the space for it. Let's take a quick look at a guy who makes a 2-directional east-west beverage, only 200 feet. Take a look.
So let's get started. If you want to do some beverage antenna. And here's a look at our
Sorry, guys,
receiving
wrong one. Let me move you over to the right one. I apologize for this. I had the, here it is, excuse me. Here is a simple beverage that can be done. This is a 200-foot long one. It runs east to west.
India Zulu 4, November Papa 8.
And 92TK here. Okay, I just put out 2 beverages. It's looks like one, but it's twin lead, 200 foot, which is pretty much the whole width of my property here on the city lot. I've got these posts stuck in the ground with some insulators, electric fence insulators. Here's my transformer. It's like a 4-to-1, 300 ohms. I think the other side I'm getting about 62. It's pretty close. It's like two turn primary, 4-turn secondary on a binocular core 73 mix. Got a 220 ohm resistor, and I've got the exact same setup down at the other end. So the red wire goes here, goes down and terminates with the resistor, and then on the other one the black wire comes back and comes down and terminates here. So getting 2 directions, and they are switched in the shack with a receive antenna switch that I'll show you now. Okay, here's the receive antenna switch, also a VE6WZ, and I've got a receiver protection there, and then I've got a little transformer, a 75 to 50 ohm transformer. So here's the coax that comes in, 1 east, 1 west. 12 volts on here will select the antenna. It also has a bias T built in if you wanted to. But basically it comes in here and then goes from here to the receiver guard, and then from the receiver guard it gets transformed to 50 ohms. All of that is 75 ohm cable. This is 50 ohm cable, and that runs into the FTDX 101. And just temporarily, because I'm getting ready to change my desk, here's the switch for it. So there's east and there's west, and right in the middle would be grounded. So that'll all get changed. I may control it with my USB relay, or I may just keep a manual switch. Not sure yet. More changes coming here soon.
Okay, so you may wonder how it sounds, right? I did, and it wasn't on that video, but thankfully he did put a video of it working. And keep in mind, different bands require longer or shorter beverages, just like a transmitting antenna, right? If you can't do a beverage because you don't have the room for it, I would highly recommend a loop on the ground, because it's better than most likely what you're using, unless you have a directional of some sort. A loop on the ground will do 2 things really well. First, it will help you eliminate noise. It's very quiet, all right? The second thing it'll help you do is pick up signals. Not to the strength of a beverage, but it's better than what your main transmitting antenna usually can do. Let's take a look and see how his beverage, only 200 feet long, actually works on the bands.
Okay, I want to show how the beverage is working on 40. So here's the station. I'm pointing east. That's west. Back to west. Back to east. And as you can tell there, you can see my noise floor is really low to the east, and I've got some power line noise that's getting looked at tomorrow to the west of me. So let's go back west, watch the noise floor, watch the scope. Yeah, you can see all that noise coming in here that wasn't there when I pointed east. So I'm really looking forward to this as another option, and I can pair this with my phased verticals and have receive antennas in both ears.
And that's a great way to do it. If there's a way you can use diversity reception where you have a listening antenna on one, a transmit antenna on another, it can be just enough if you've got two different types of polarization, meaning, horizontally polarized or vertically polarized, where you can just parse out a weak signal enough to make the signal report and the call sign work. That's all you need for a QSO, right? We've got another one. I want to show you quickly because we're talking about receive antennas today, and we talked about on Thursday. We didn't bring up loop on ground yet, and Callum did a great loop on the ground program that I encourage you to go to his channel and take a look at. He put one together of two different sizes. Let me show you a brief video from Cal's page where he talks about his loop on the ground, and notice just how quiet it is, but also notice how well his vertical still hears.
Doesn't really matter too much, but it's a good little isolator as well, so it isolates the antenna from the coax. So I got mine from this man, lmkts.com, and I did a swap. I think he had a pole or something, and I got his loop on the ground. Now, I didn't need the wires. I got plenty of wires knocking around. I just bought the little bit only. You can see it under my leaves here in the forest. You literally can't see it. In fact, I just smothered the whole thing in Vaseline. The Vaseline is still there, actually, because I was following the coax. So, what's that stuff? It was all covered in Vaseline. It's been out there about a year now. That's fine. The only thing I would say on this is that the post terminals where you screw in are really small. So my fork connector keeps falling off because I've got giant fork connectors. I've got big hands. So I just wish it was in a bigger box. But I might phone him up and see if he'll do me a deal. With a PL25, an SO239, I'd like that as well. But enough of my waffling. Let's go down 80, 40, 20, 15 and 10 now. See how we got on and see what you think. Okay, here we go.
Now, I'm only going to show you his 80 meters. He goes on and shows you other bands as well. Again, watch this on his channel. It's really worth it. He shows you the 90 meter loop. This is the receive antenna loop versus his vertical.
Yeah, very, very good. Right, I'm not going to hold it anyway. Conditions do seem to be changing, and the band is going up and down quite a bit with me. Back to you, Andy. Hopefully I didn't fade out altogether. From G0 TNF.
20 Andy to G0 TNF. Actually, Michael, you were a bit better than you were last time round, so yeah, we are getting a dodgy bit. Well, there you go, Michael. If you've got any left over,
okay, keep in mind, one is a small loop on ground, the other one's a 90 meter loop. Two different sizes, right? The more wire, the better you'll hear.
Have a look anyway. It's interesting thing to see. Yeah, we don't do the juicing at Acorn Bank anymore like we used to. There was, I think there's still a bit of Apple identification going on and things like that with Hillary Wilson, who still works a little bit there. But the National Trust are not really very easy people to work with, shall we say. They are, well, I believe it to be actually downright difficult. I'll tell you another time about certain things that we do that they market but can't sell or couldn't sell on the premises due to some bizarre arcane National Trust rules. But now can happen because the gift shop is now a concession at Acorn Bank. It's mad. It's the world of quangos. Anyway, yeah. But this is a place called Moreland House, which is in Moreland, and I think it's a very short cycle ride for you, Michael. So there you go. Without any further ado,
Thanks to Cal at DX Commander for a really good video. And if you watch it when he goes on to 40 and goes up to 20, you'll see a little bit of a difference on those antennas. But what I love about, if you can't do a beverage, because you don't have, let's say, for example, you need a pretty good sized property. And I didn't say a lot, right? Property is like in acres, right? Or at least an acre, where property might be 100 by 50 or 50 by 50, could even be 200 by 200. But the more you can put out there, the better. And there's a great comment that was put out here by Jeff, and it's a very true comment. When we talk about a loop on the ground, they don't have to be a loop. They don't have to be round. They just have to be down there. You have to be on the ground. And again, the more wire you have, the better it will hear. You're not going to get so much background noise. QRN, it's going to be brought down. You're going to need to use preamps to bring up the signal. I did it with mine, I had to. But it's going to be sometimes a better sounding signal than maybe your other antenna could bring. And what Jeff says, the log, which means loop on ground if you're new to ham radio, the loop on ground doesn't need to be symmetrical, and part of it can be buried shallow if you're crossing a driveway or a walkway, etc. They are night and day for killing noise. And that's 100% true. The noise you'll get from, just static, just loud conditions can be brought down significantly if you have a loop on the ground. Same thing with beverage, but a beverage is different. A beverage directs the received signal in one direction, and if you've got the right setup, you can have it go two different directions. DX Engineering sells kits. You can find them online by just searching beverage antennas or loop on the ground antenna, ham radio, and then find your manufacturer. Make sure, one thing I really recommend highly, make sure when you do this that you take a close look at reviews for the product, because when you see fellow hams review products, you might get a better idea for what product might suit you best. But if you've got acreage, man, oh man, get yourself a good beverage antenna, because it's going to make listening as important as transmitting to you. Thanks to Callum, as well as the other gentleman who did this. And I think it was November 9 Tango. Let me take a quick look because I don't want to do the wrong thing here. Just a second.
And 9TTK here.
Okay, I thought I had it right, but I was going to say it wrong. November 9 Tango Kilo for 2 good videos on listening antennas. Part of what we do in amateur radio. Thanks, guys, especially my friend Cal in the UK. It's good to have you guys out there doing that. I want to welcome Kevin from Iowa, Kilo 0 Kilo Lima Bravo, and catch up with your comments. Round 3, what would you do with people who are DQRMing? Think about like your favorite de-expedition that you wanted to work, but then all of a sudden people are out there acting like morons with an amateur radio. What would you do with that? Let us know in the comments, and we'll make it part of today's program. Nice comment here. This is interesting from Robert Varner, New Jersey. He says, punishment for QRMing should include listening to 200 hours of the Lawrence Welk show. Oh my gosh. Oh man. That might do it completely for everybody that has to DQRM. The end of that, you'd be like, never again. Dennis says, rules are, now I like this comment. This is a great comment. I read this when Cal's video was on. Rules are in place. They have been. But here's the problem. But they're never enforced. If you make rules, you need to enforce them. For crying in the mud. He's 100% correct. They tell you these are things you cannot do. Absolutely, you cannot do this. So what are you going to do about it then? Dennis, I couldn't agree with you more. Kilo Fox Zero, Romeo Lima X-Ray. Great comment. Thank you very, very much for that. I love that. And Brad, you're just making me do this now. Okay. He says, Robert, I like the Sentinel Island trip. Okay. So let me do this. I've got to kind of do it slowly because I can only, we're not going to be in the show initially. Here's what happened. Joshua, I think it was Joshua, maybe it was Robert Varner, who said on the Friday show to do a de-expedition where we all get together for 4 days and have some fun, to go to Sentinel Island. Now, Sentinel Island, let me get you the specs so you can see where it's at, because I didn't have this set up for the show, so I apologize. Sentinel Island, this is what it looks like. So we have lots of room for antennas there, guys. It's a place that's in the Indian Ocean, so it's just off the India coast, actually. It's part of an archipelago that heads south from basically the Asian continent. I'll give you some more as we get closer to it. Sentinel Island would be a great place to do a day expedition. We'd be kind of warm there for sure. I don't know about the humidity or if there's any snakes out there, but we certainly would have some fun. Here's where it's located, in the Bay of Bengal, right there in the Indian Ocean. And not a bad place. I certainly like the idea of heading to Sentinel Island if we were to do a de-expedition here as a group. But we might have a hard time getting food and groceries there. I don't know, but thanks a lot for the idea. I like that. It'd be fun to do a de-expedition with you guys. I would love that for sure. Today's topic question: what should be done to people who are caught DQRMing on the bands? Last little definition of that: causing interference intentionally. Daniel, New Hampshire is back. Good to see you, Daniel. Welcome, man. It's great to have you. He says, some people need to be the main character so bad that they don't care if they're the hero or the villain. Wow. That's some really good, there's a lot of psychology to what he's saying here. Think about it. Why do people do stuff? Why? Why do you see people do extreme things? Because they're looking for attention. And everyone that barks at them on a microphone, shut up, get out of here, you idiot, call them names, they're getting what they want, right? They're getting attention. Attention for doing something stupid. Daniel, brilliant comment. Absolutely a brilliant comment. Thank you very much. I love that comment because it's all about attention. Feeding their attention need. Mike in Jacksonville, since I can't have a beverage, I have a loop on ground instead in my backyard. Works great, 40 meters down to 160. And that's where a loop on the ground is super good, the lower bands, because they have the most noise on them. When you put a loop on the ground, again, they don't have to be perfectly round. They could be square, they could be, oblong, however you make it, just that you have it. You all of a sudden reduce the noise on the band. That's helpful because then you're able to hear the signals. You bring them up with your preamp and then you can hear them. The good thing about it is there's not that atmospheric noise you'd have, say, with a dipole or with a vertical antenna. It's a great way to DX, and that's how Mike makes great calls. Mike made one recently all the way from Jacksonville, almost an antipode, really. It's very close to that, down to Raleigh, New Zealand. Great comment, Mike. Thank you. And Dennis says, you are correct, Daniel. They are mentally challenged and nothing will keep them from QRMing. Ooh, it's getting a little toasty in here as the chair goes down again. Cor Vortman from New York State is here. Cor, welcome. Good to see you, my friend, as always. And Mike, you got yours from LMK. How do you like the quality? Is it good? The wire is good. All the stuff is good. Trying to get the chair to go up. Sorry. Oh boy. Larry needs a new chair, but then again, what are you going to do, right? Jeff in Australia, loop on ground doesn't need to be symmetrical. We talked about that. Thank you. Sorry about that. And Harold says loop on ground should be less than one wavelength. That's a good point, actually. It's a very good point. If you're building a loop receive antenna, you're trying to build it for specific bands, right? So if 160 is your goal, just understand that it might not be so good on 40 and 80. Maybe go the other direction. Build one for 40 so you can hear 80 and 160. See what I'm saying? Go just under a wavelength for 40 meters, and then you'll still get 80 and you'll still get 160 better than you would without it. Great comment. Thank you very, very much for that. Love that. Daniel says the FCC is more interested. Oh, is this a comment? Oh, man. And it's a very true comment, too. Listen to this. Daniel, New Hampshire. The FCC is more interested in selling bandwidth than they are in enforcing the rules when they don't involve their corporate customers. Wow. That's a powerful comment, and he's 1,000% correct. He is. He is, because their basic thing is they're going to try and make money, but the things they don't make money in, for example, amateur radio, we'll get to it. I think he's right. I do. Harold in Mineral Wells, Texas says, Jeff, yep, most of the examples online are 15 feet square, 60 feet of wire. That's a bit under one wavelength on 20 meters. Nice comment. Chris in New York City, to catch these DQRM'ers, they need to keep them transmitting. It will be easier to triangulate them with simple equipment, so it may be a good idea to encourage them for no. You know, actually, a lot of these guys get caught because they can't stop. And that's the whole point, right? The FCC crew, in my opinion, just mine, right? They've had enough complaints, for example, on 7.2 on 40 meters night, right, on their net. And they've had enough complaints that they've triangulated it to a general area, and then they send guys out in that general field office. For example, let's say, 7.2's up on night, right? And then all of a sudden they're getting an awful lot of complaints, and the complaints are rolling in from a specific area. Well, that helps to know pretty much that they need to get focused, for example, on the West Coast versus, okay, you got a giant country here, right? That's 3,000 miles from coast to coast. Okay, it's a whole country. But if you can isolate it to part of it and then from there parse it down further, now you can send a field office out from, say, Seattle or Portland or maybe Los Angeles or San Francisco. And that's how they're catching these guys, because they can't stop doing it. It's an interesting comment. Really is, Chris. Thank you. Tom in Turkey says, my friend and I have used loop on the ground in the desert near the sea for the low bands for overnight ops. Brilliant. Absolutely. You're not going to build a loop antenna. I should be very clear on this, for loops and for beverages. You're not going to build a loop or a beverage really to work bands like 15 meters, 12, and 10, because those have pretty quiet bands. Now, a beverage will still work better, though, because it's going to be directional in one way. If you've got a Yagi, you're not going to do a beverage. You're most likely not. However, if you're a really top-level DXer or contester, you probably will, because it's going to allow you to hear that weak guy just a little more. And if you're using diversity receive, or perhaps you're listening to your Yagi in your right ear, your beverage in your left, that could be the difference in making the call or not making the call. And keep in mind, in contesting, timing, getting the quick QSO is the key to being the best. I think it's got a lot of value. So again, higher bands, loop on the ground, not going to be helpful. Really 17, 15, 12, and 10, probably not going to be helpful, but a beverage will be very helpful if you've got the room for it. Harold says 30-foot square is better for 40 and down. Yeah. And yes, good comments, you guys worldwide. Appreciate that. I think we're caught up here. I'm not going to forget today, Mike. I will not. Mike, Kilo Golf 2, Mike. There's our Mike right here. He is a part of the Duval County Amateur Radio Aries Group. He is solid with emergency comms and an integral part of Duval County with all the work that they do there. Mike, I've told you, is a great DXer. He also loves to make calls that are kind of unique. And there was a call that was made during a large ham fair that our friend Carlos made. If you're a longtime viewer of this channel, you know Carlos. He's a guy that goes to a lot of the ham fairs and things where he'll jump out of an airplane and make as many calls as he can from jumping out of the plane till just before his feet hit the ground. Take a listen to this carefully. It's a great call that Mike made to Carlos on one of his jumps.
Station, please. Alright, I'm passing 7,800 feet.
Kilo Golf 2, Mike, Echo 5, Echo 6, Lima.
Kilo Golf 2 Mike 5-9 over Rochelle, Illinois, passing 7,600 feet.
Roger, 5-9 Florida, 5-9 Florida.
Thank you for the 5-9 over Florida, and 7-3 QRZ. Next station, please.
How about that, Mike? Kilo Golf 2 Mike working Carlos on a nice little air jump down over Illinois. Nice work, Mike. I mean, I know that you don't make a ton of those calls to him, but man, what a great call to make over Rochelle, Illinois. You had to be thrilled because Carlos got you in the log and you made another call, special call. That's why I say a lot with Mike, Kilo Golf 2 Mike. Whenever I get a chance to see him on one of our streams, and Mike comes almost all the time. Here's Mike right here. I'm very honored you come because I'm very impressed with the things you accomplish in amateur radio. Mike, thank you. Thank you for what you do, and thanks for being such a loyal viewer and a good friend. I'm sorry we couldn't make it to Hamcation this past year. Gosh, I still feel bad about that. I really do. We were close, but we'll get there next time for sure. Want to welcome Greg. I believe it's Greg, right? Kilo Tango 4, Romeo Alpha Mike. It's great to see you. I need to check real quick because I'm going from memory on the call sign, and my memory still works. Thankfully, my memory still works. He's here in Florida, I believe. Yeah, Welburn, Florida. That is Greg. Kilo Tango 4, Romeo Alpha Mike. Greg, welcome back. Good to see you. He said, I couldn't be DQRM'er because my ADHD is so severe that I couldn't help but to keep talking, allowing me to get caught. That right there has got to be the comment of the program. Mike, thank you. Greg, thank you so much. That's very, very funny, actually. Rodney, in the Netherlands, if you need the best quiet antenna with regards to Yagi, use a loop. Olet's elaborate LFA Yafi, I think he meant Yagi loop fed array. Thanks, Rodney. Appreciate you. Joshua, he says, I use a G90 in an apartment and can't hear anything, usually. So I go get the Kiwi SDR out as my receiver. Not ideal, but I would barely make any contacts otherwise. Yeah, I don't like that, but I understand. I do. I understand, buddy. That'd be hard. Because, you can't put a good antenna out because you live in an apartment that doesn't let you have a ham radio antenna. That would suck. Wouldn't like that. Mike, the loop on ground is made with good quality and has been down in the past, for the past 6 to 7 years. It's completely buried now. That's what happens over time. You put wire in the ground. Like I had on Cal's antenna, the DX Commander Classic, I had like 32 ground radios, right? And gosh, I want to say it was like a year and a half, maybe. Yeah, about a year and a half, okay? And I got to back off this camera. It's way too zoomed in. So bear with me here. We're going to kind of bring you out a little bit so you don't have to see Larry's pores, okay? Anyway, true story. It was like a year and a half. And all of a sudden, those wires were just underground. It was great. It was just great. The nice thing about putting ground radios down or a wire down, over time, it just goes into the soil and everything works. Still does. Mike, that's a really nice comment, and it's very, very well. Thank you. And jumping from 10,000 feet, he's got to watch his altimeter on his wrist as he's going down because he doesn't want to want to go too fast, but he makes a lot of calls. Well, I love his work. I just do. He does great stuff. Greg says, got to work Carlos in one of his skydives around 3 years ago. It's a memory. It really is. Yeah. And there, Greg, thank you. I appreciate that. My memory still works sometimes. What should be done to people caught doing deliberate QRM? Let us know in the comments. We'll make it part of the show. Angry Hams coming up next.
Well, every week this show looks better to me.
Every week your eyesight gets worse.
Okay, question number 1. You'll like these, especially Harold, because he likes the bigger format. How many active ham licenses are there in the United Kingdom? How many active ham licenses are there? And notice for you folks in the UK, I even spelled licenses your way. Here in the States, people may mock me, and that's okay. You may mock. I can handle mocking. It's okay. But I will be respectful to my United Kingdom brethren and sisterin. How many active ham licenses are there in the UK? A is approximately 75 to 80,000. B, approximately 90,000. C, approximately 125,000. Or D, approximately 100,000. How many active ham licenses are there in the United Kingdom? A, B, C, or D? Let's see who's got the right answer today as the comments come flying in. And Brad, this is a neat comment, actually. Terminal velocity, 120 meters per, we'll have to figure that out. Meters per second, I'm guessing. Under company, 15 frames per second. It's pretty funny. Yes, sir. All right, you got a baby loop, Barry? Oh, I bet that 9,000 just hears like a honey with that. Man. Daniel, New Hampshire, first one in with B, that would be approximately 90,000. You, sir, are very, very close on that answer. Very close. Dale in Arkansas has C, approximately 125,000. You're close as well. Tom in Turkey, he's got D, approximately 100,000. Tom, you are 1 for 1. Well done. Who else has got D sitting here? Bill Myers has A. Chris is correct with D. Joshua had C. Barry Wendon had A. Jeff in Australia, he's got C. And Brad, the number decreased during that time, during tea time, indeed. Dennis also, he had C, and Rodney had A. This is because of active licenses that are total probability more than 100. Yes, you got it right, sir. That's where the little extra hitch was in that question. The actual licensees in total, the word active is the key word here. If you said how many ham radio licenses are there, it's a different answer. That active word is the reason why it says what it says. All right. Question 2. How many licensed amateurs are there in the country of France? A, approximately 10,000. B, approximately 25,000. C, approximately 17,500. Or D, approximately 13,500 licensed amateurs in France. A, B, C, or D. Question 2. We'll see how well you do with this one. And again, we're just looking for how many licensed amateurs there are in France. And the stark difference between France and the United Kingdom is quite extensive. You might be surprised at the different number here, for sure. Daniel, first up again. We've got good latency between us, Daniel, today. I think you're probably the fastest one into me. He has C, approximately 17,500. All right. Bill says also approximately 17,500. Chris in New York City's got B, approximately 25,000. Tom in Turkey says the same. Jeff in Australia's got 17,500. Dale in Arkansas's got approximately 25,000. Barry Wendon's got 25,000. And Rodney, brilliant. This is actually brilliant science. He's got B for baguette. And Brad says, ignorance is bliss, so I don't often have an answer. Let's see the final answer here. How many licensed amateurs are there in the country of France? approximately 13,500. Can you believe that? Compared to Great Britain, a big difference, like about 87,000 different license numbers. Yeah, 13,500 in France. So Larry got one of those. Let's do the third question. This will be an interesting one to you. This is going to be very interesting. Question 3. How many licensed amateurs are there in Japan? Now, there's significantly more in Japan than there is in France and the United Kingdom, right? A, approximately 125,000. B, approximately 390,000. C, approximately 250,000. Or D, approximately 150,000. And I should do this because this is kind of this thing got messed up. Sorry about that. That was from the last question. I forgot to change the color on that. There we go. A, B, C, or D. How many licensed hams are there in the country of Japan? Interesting to see if you can get this one right. It's a Larry moment. Yep. Bill, you got it right. There you go. And Bill twice. Harold, yes. And Rodney as well. Dale with C. Yes. Jeff with B. Yep. And Tom says in Turkey, it looks like a B to me. And Brad, you have B highlighted. Yes, I did. But the answer actually on this one, you'll love it. It is correct. You caught me. It's B. And Rodney, yes, Larry showed the answer indeed. Thank you for telling me that. I would never have figured that one out. Indeed. Yeah, it's 390,000. Believe it or not, Japan is the second most populated ham licensed country in the world with 390,000. They estimate in this last year between 380 and 400,000 licensees in Japan. So I split the difference with you. There's 390,000 amateurs in the country of Japan. Isn't that amazing? Man, I would never have guessed. I would have thought the second biggest one would have been the United Kingdom, but no, by a long shot, it's Japan. And the Japanese licensing structure is very different, very unique in terms of the people that get like the most power, which I believe is 1,000 watts. I'm off the top of my head. Don't quote me. I believe I'm right. But the licensing to get to that level is very small. It's very small indeed. So that's it. Bill, no, everyone cheated because Larry just made a mistake. Yeah. Isn't that something, Rodney? Yeah, they're the second highest licensing class. Tom, very nice, Larry-san. Thank you. Yes. And they love their ham radio. And of course, with 3 manufacturers there, wow. They aren't hurting for sure. Yeah, Chris, isn't that's amazing for a country size as Japan? But you know, when you look at the United Kingdom, I believe, is third. They've got quite a few. You know, there's a lot of licensees in the United Kingdom. So that's why you have such, a tremendous amount of advertising in both the UK and in Japan. Because with the UK having approximately 100,000 licensees, that's an awful lot. You know, it really is. And that's why when I said about the technician licensee thing last week with, them giving a little more HF privileges, even if they just give them FT8, fine. Just give them something. That's fine. It wouldn't suck because there's over 330,000 technicians in the United States. That's greater than, that's almost greater than the Japanese license, all of them. Amazing. Today's topic question had to do with a penalty for people who do DQRM. There were a lot of neat comments to this, you guys, today. You guys really came strong today. You truly did. I mean, I was very impressed with what you said. And I'll get to all your comments here in just a second here on that. But I want to get to a few of the answers that you guys gave to this question today, because I think they were really good. I mean, they were really strong. Comments in terms of things you would do to someone if they were caught. Daniel, I think this was the comment of the show. I do because there's an awful lot of truth here. The FCC is more interested in selling bandwidth than they are in enforcing the rules when they don't involve their corporate customers. That's a big comment. And to make that comment, you have to have some backup, right? There's enough proof to that as being true. Nice comment, Daniel. A lot of courage in that. And you are right. By the way, Kevin, never worry about being late. We don't ever worry about that. You're good. Another comment that was a good one was Dennis. This is true. Rules are in place. They have been for a long dang time, but they're not enforced. You make rules, you need to enforce them. And he adds for crying in the mud. Great comment. It's a great comment. Robert Varner shed some humor on it. I like that. That's another comment of the show. Punishment for QRMing should include listening to 200 hours of the Lawrence Welk Show. And the one, and the two. That would be awful. Oh my gosh. Another one that was good, Daniel with a neat comment. He says for people caught DQRMing 50 hours of community service, 25 attending ham radio classes, and passing, if not a ham, or repassing the tests, and the other 25 should be spent teaching kids ham radio. Think about this world. If they were to be caught, how much better it might be for someone who was an offender helping young people license. You're taking something negative and making a positive out of it. That's a powerful comment that he made. Daniel's a brilliant comment, and I really liked it. And thank you for giving me Anders' call sign, Lima Bravo 3 Bravo Julia. It's been a minute. Anders, thank you. And everyone, thank you for that. Also, Randy and I in Indiana didn't mean to not say hello. Thanks for coming. He says, sorry, I have to check out. Tornado sirens going off. Hope you're safe. Disconnect the gear, buddy. Disconnect the gear. One more comment. Need to say it real quick. Tom, thanks for the clarification. The Bosphorus Strait in Turkey, the one between two continents. Pretty amazing. Chris said, for me, the craziest border crossing is between the U.S. and Canada, where there is a street. One side's in the USA, the other's in Canada, and border patrols are watching if you cross the double yellow. That's true. There's also an area, it's in New England, I believe, where you cross over into Canada, but like there's old buildings, right? Where you go in the building, you're in your country, but then if you cross into another part of the building, you're in Canada. It's phenomenal. I think it's in Vermont, I think. Could be wrong, might be Maine, I guess. But that to me is just cool that was allowed to stay because it's the longest unprotected border in the world, the U.S. and Canada. I think it's a really neat thing. Thank goodness. Thank goodness it is. One more thing really quick. There's one more here that I wanted to bring up because it was really, really a neat comment. And it was about fining people. And let me get to it real quick. Just a second. Oh, wait, sorry. Anders had a question. I didn't answer this. Larry, you have any antenna where you live? I see in the video from your tower. I see the air went on the roof there. Can we make something look same? I can't quite remember. I can't quite understand what you're saying, Anders. I have a hex beam that I keep on the tripod for setting it up. It allows the top of the hex beam to stay below my fence. I've made tons of calls into Europe with it, and under good conditions, we should be able to make a QSO. Would love that. Would absolutely love that, Anders. Very, very much. Let me get to it real quick. Before Harold, your neighborhood would look a lot better with several towers and beams. Yes, it would. Oh, yes, it would. It would indeed. There was one more comment I wanted to get to. Just a second. Oh, here it is. This is important because you know what? This could be a factor for people who don't know they're QRMing. Then, therefore, they wouldn't be a DQRMer. Chris in New York City on the New Jersey net that I frequent, they recently caught a DQRMer offender because he had a hot mic with his Vox on, so his Vox was on. turned on, and he spoke some personal info talking in the background to his wife. Oh, brother. So he was messing around, didn't remember he had his Vox on, which means you're transmitting whenever you speak loud enough, and he was giving personal info out. Oops. Oh, man, that's funny. That is actually funny. Let me get to the one, because I want to get one. Barry in the UK, Golf 6, Juliet Mike X-Ray said, send them to prison, take away the equipment for interfering on the bands. That's pretty big. That is pretty big indeed. Here's Bill. I wanted to get this one. He said, today's topic question, I think that a $5,000 fine for the first conviction, $25,000 for the second, $50,000, you give him 3 chances, $50,000 for the third, and 6 months in jail, equipment confiscated each and every time. Probably change things, right? It probably would change things quickly. I think we're good. I think we got everything. All right, let me just say the final goodbyes here real quick. And yes, a lot of people in Japan, Yaesu, Kenwood, ICOM, all our other headquarters are right there. Herald, because they make the most of their radios. They do, absolutely. But I also think the Japanese appreciate the gift of amateur radio. They understand clearly a lot better than a lot of us do here in the States that we are custodians of these bands. And as custodians, we should be taking better care of them. I believe that sincerely about the Japanese in amateur radio. Ronnie, do they tune their amps like wax on, wax off? No, that's not very nice. It's funny, but it's not very nice. Bill in Wisconsin, thanks for another informative show, Larry. Have a great Monday, everyone. From Bill the Nimrod, have to run. Thank you for being here and for your help, too, Bill. Appreciate it. Ronnie didn't want to continue, but can we Elmer FUD the DQRM causing ops? It'd be kind of funny, wouldn't it, actually? Yes, I think so, too. Ronnie, disregard. Like I said, my dark thoughts will creep up. Hence, I deleted my own message. I do not want to cross the line. Daniel, it would suck needing a passport to use the bathroom. No kid. If you're like in the room, right? Let's say you entered in like the living room, and down the hall is the bathroom, and that bathroom's in another country. You're like fumbling for your passport. Like, no, I really got to go, man. Is there a way I can slide it under the door? Would that work for you, sir? That'd be funnier than heck. This wouldn't be the first international incident caused by Taco Tuesday. Oh my gosh. That's got to be the comment of the show right there. Got to be the comment of the show. Absolutely funny. Daniel, you win. Thanks guys for your kind words. I appreciate it. You asked me if I played the video you told me about. No, I did not. Hold on. Let me see if it's here. Because there's a lot in the show, guys. There's beverage antennas and all the other stuff that we did. The entering Asia sign, the different things that you can do here. Hold on. I'll show it tomorrow. I have a great video that was sent to me by Gunter, DK50NV. And in order to really make it a good show and show that video, I'd rather have it be in tomorrow's show, because I'd be throwing it at the last minute. So please bear with me. Guys, that's the program. I've been talking for an hour and 43 minutes, almost 1:43 now. And not a whole lot of sound effects. How you like the show that way? It's more of a talk show format. I'd be interested in seeing your comments on that in the comments stream after the show, right? The Radio Society of Great Britain would love to help you get licensed. Contact them to get your ham license at www.rsgb.org. Hit the contact part of their page. Tell them you want your ham license and where you live in the world. They will send you an email back with a local to you ham club. www.rsgb.org to the Radio Society of Great Britain. Wonderful club. They can help you to get licensed. Wherever you may be, my name's Larry Dio. My call sign in ham radio is Kilo 7 Hotel November. Wherever you are in the world, God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow, God willing, and hopefully we'll have a fun show tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody.
All this starchy stuff. Well, I haven't thought about it. I was only saying yesterday, a balanced diet, I said, that's what we women need.
She's off again. We eat all wrong. Our food hasn't got enough roughage, whatever that is. We should have our vegetables raw, and on about keeping regular.
It's all very well for you. You never seem to get run down like I do.
I think it's time I told her.
About Kellogg's All-Bran, the crisp and pleasant cereal that keeps a person regular because it provides the roughage that so many of us lack in our diet. All-Bran for breakfast. A much nicer way to keep your system regular than taking medicine.
Double for you.
A much nicer way to keep your system regular than taking medicine.
Urgent! Get down to the club right away!
Broad Squad. Tonight's episode, Terror in the Night.
What's up, Al?
I'm on the case, Chief. They were supposed to be selling ordinary cider. But we found this.
Okay, let's say it's Red Rock. It's less gassy and not like any other cider.
It's Red Rock, it's less gassy and not like any other cider.
Now, who's behind it?
Well, I found the bartender's palm prints all over the place.
Very pretty, Al. Where is he?
Over there. The chicks are all over him.
Good job, Al.
Piece of cake.
No, thank you. I've just eaten.
Red Rock cider. It's not red, and there's no rocks in it.
This is the Nation Station. WLW, the Crosley Radio Corporation, Cincinnati.
Ladies and gentlemen, with this presentation, we are concluding the broadcasting activities of WLW, the Nation Station, owned and operated by the Crosley Radio Corporation, Cincinnati, Ohio, the United States of America. By authority of the Federal Communications Commission, WLW operates at the assigned frequency of 700 kilocycles and uses a full signal strength of 500,000 watts. Speaking on behalf of the entire staff of WLW, the world's most powerful broadcast station, may I bid you a pleasant good night and good morning.
That's all, folks.